What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Unreal Hour in a very, very long time. It has been a hot minute since I've done an episode of the Unreal Hour, and so for those of you who are just coming back, or this is your first time, thank you so much for being here. Now, what the Unreal Hour is essentially I spend about an hour giving you guys an inside look into what game development is really like. And if this is your first time seeing the Unreal Hour, you've definitely jumped into a good episode because recently I just finished with the launch of another game called Sweet Tooth. And so now, excuse me, took some time, did a bunch of prototyping, did some brainstorming and whatnot, and it's time to start on a new game. All right, so without further ado, let's jump right in. Now, the premise of this game is right now the working title is What Ravens Like. And so the premise of this game is that you play as a young boy who befriends a raven, and you're going to help that raven do some tasks. You're going to help this raven find some things, find the things that ravens like. And you will, it's kind of a cozy, I hesitate to say puzzle game, because the puzzles aren't going to be that crazy or intense, but there's some puzzle elements to it, but mostly it's cozy exploration, having fun, hanging out with your raven buddy. Now this project in particular, I have done nothing. I have imported a couple assets that I know I'm going to use, but in terms of actual development, not a thing's happened yet. So you guys get to actually see the very first steps of making this happen. So the first thing that I like to do is always just make a folder where my custom code is going to live. So, underscore what ravens like, and the underscore is just to keep the folder very first in the list. All right, so I'm going to make a new folder. Let's call this one blueprints. So this is going to be kind of a catch-all folder for any kind of blueprints that we make. And then this one is going to be characters. And then we'll make one more. And this will be for the player. So the player's going to live in here. Now I could use the third person kind of pre-built blueprint, but here's the big but here. It's already got some code in it, which is fine. However, sometimes I feel like when you start with code, you kind of end up feeling like you have to use it, and I don't really want to be tied to that way of thinking. So I'm just going to create a new blueprint. Heck, it's a boy. Let's just call him BP boy. All right, so we've got a boy. All right, so we've got a capsule component. We've got a mesh component. Let's see, I'm going to take a look at my notes here because I like to have an idea of what I'm going to be doing before I just kind of run with it. So, all right, so this character mesh, let's go ahead and get a character. Now, I don't know that this will be the one that I use when everything is said and done, but this is going to be the one that we start with, and I want to use the one that uses the mannequin skeleton. So here's this guy. All right, so we need to bring him down about 90. And we need to spin them to face forward. So 90 there as well. Okay, cool. Let's, okay, he's supposed to be a young boy, right? So let's make him a little thinner. Let's shrink him down a little bit. Looks a little wonky right now, but maybe if we, yeah, it's a little better. Okay, we'll leave him like that for now. We can adjust later on. Now, what I want to do is I want this game to have kind of that 2.5D kind of maybe not 2.5D, but that isometric view. Think like Diablo is the easy example. So fixed camera, no matter where this character turns, no matter how, ooh, hit the mic, no matter how he spins, moves, whatever. I kind of want the camera to always be fixed in one spot instead of doing this. It should just always do this, because that makes total sense. Anyway, so okay, so on the capsule component, I'm gonna throw just a scene component on here, and I'm gonna call this the camera anchor. Now, and so of course attached to the camera anchor, that's where we're gonna put our spring arm, which I'm gonna call the camera boom. And then on the camera boom, of course, we're gonna add a camera. Boom. So now we've got our camera anchor, a camera boom, and a camera. Now, the reason that I added this camera anchor component, most of the time, you'd probably just attach the camera boom to the mesh. But I want the camera to behave a little differently than normal, because I want, it's kind of hard to describe, whichever way the character is walking, I want the player to be able to see a little bit ahead, right? So if the character is walking this way, the camera should actually show a little bit more of what's in front. And if the character turns this way, the camera should shift this way. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to use this camera anchor to kind of float around the character just a little bit to allow the camera to offset. Now, to do that, I'm going to need a function. And, well, you know what? First, well, let me name it real quick. Update camera anchor position. Cool. So we have that function there, and that's what we'll use to update the camera anchor position, obviously. But real quick, let's do something else. Let's actually get our character in the scene. So if we go to let's just throw it in here with the player. This is going to be a let's see, yeah, let's make a controller for this guy. So one second, checking out my notes just to make sure I'm not doing anything weird. Yep, okay. So, okay, cool. We'll do a player controller. So, controller, and this will be boy. We'll just call it that. All right, and then we need a game mode. All right, so game mode, I don't see me needing to change the game mode at any point, so I'll just call this what Ravens like. Game mode, what Ravens like. Save all. Let's open up this game mode, and our player controller is going to be controller boy, and the default pawn is going to be BP boy. We'll compile and save. We can close that. I'm going to be using this map for testing. So let's put the game mode as game mode what Ravens like. And we've already got a player start thing down there. I'm really good with words, by the way. Player start thing. And let's hit play and see what happens. Great. Okay, cool. We have our boy. Of course, he can't do anything at the moment. That's fine. As a matter of fact, let's get that set up. Because we like to be able to move, right? It's very important. So, there are some actions in here that I believe I can just steal. I don't think I need to change anything here. That looks good. That's just simple movement. Oops, I closed. Oh yeah, okay. Look. Yep, that's fine. Jump. Yep, that's fine. Okay. So I think I can use what we've got here, and of course, here are the mappings, everything's set up. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna steal a little bit of code from the character, and all this really does is that it sets up your enhanced input, and this code for the most part is always the same. So we're just gonna stick that there. The only thing I'm gonna do, I lied, it's not exactly the same. We're gonna take our controller and we're gonna cast it to the controller boy. Boom. We're gonna change that. Boy goes here. We can get rid of that. Bloop. Cool. All right, so we've got that. So at this point, I believe. Oh nope, actually nope. Man, you know, I said I wasn't gonna use them. And then here I am, just basically needing all this code. So we'll take this. Whatever. It is what it is. It's clean. It's written. Why not? So we'll take that there. Everything should compile smoothly. Now if we go here, cool. Our guy moves. Woohoo. And he jumps, which is nice. Okay, so now what do we want to do now? Oh, okay, yeah. Let's keep going on our update camera anchor position. So essentially, I'm gonna move some stuff down to make room. We're just going to grab the event tick. All right, and on every tick, we're gonna call this function. Now we're gonna need delta seconds here because I'm gonna need to interpolate based on the time. So we'll take that and we'll, oh, I thought I could do that. Never mind. Let me go in here real quick. Add input. This is gonna be delta seconds. It's gonna be a float. Compile, save. Now nope. Let me close that because I'm going to end up getting confused. Take that, and then we'll just pass in delta seconds. All right, so compile, save. Now, here comes the fun. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get the camera anchor, and I need to I need to make sure it's always essentially rotated the same way. So we're going to do set world rotation. And we'll start it there, right? Set world rotation. So if we go here, right, we still see that is, you know, the rotation that we're at, but we can also change. So if we put Z 45, I believe that will, yep. Okay. So now you see we have, pretty much that isometric view that we want. I'm going to back it down just a little bit, maybe to 40. Let's see if that looks, you know what, it's hard to tell, like this. So I'm going to take the camera anchor, I'm going to tip it up maybe 40 degrees probably, and the camera boom definitely needs to back up some. Let's put, well, let's try that, see what happens. Oh yeah, duh, if I set it to 0045, it's gonna, whatever, the distance is fine. We'll come back to that and fix that. So take that, then, so I'm gonna need to get some information from the character movement component. So we'll grab this. We're gonna get velocity. There we go. That's the vector we're looking for. And then from that, we're just gonna get the length of it. Vector length. Cool. I know this is kind of an unconventional way to stack blueprints, but I don't know. In my head, I like it when it's just like a bunch of getters. It's just like, okay, character movement, get the velocity, get the length, and then do something with it. But anyway, so basically, I want to check if it's greater than 0. So we'll throw a branch there. And so then, if it is greater than 0, actually, let's handle the false case first, because that's going to be a little bit easier. So I know what we're going to do here is we're going to take the camera anchor and we're going to do set world location. And so what is this? Where are we basically setting this to? If we're not moving, we want the camera anchor to be right on the character. So we've got the camera anchor. So we're going to get the world location for it. And then we are going to vinterp 2. So what this does is this basically, you can take one vector, which is the current, and you say, this is the vector I have, this is the vector I want to get to. And then based on delta time, you can morph the current vector into the target vector, like transform it into that over time. Whew, again, great with words. It's late, so cut me a little bit of slack. Interp speed 1 is probably fine. And we're passing in delta seconds there, so I can just do get delta seconds. We can plug that in. And the target, so remember I said that we just wanted to be centered on the actor, so I can do get, if I could spell, actor location. And we will just plug that guy into there. And I'm going to back it up a little bit so that we can see what's going on. And then delta seconds. Cool. I think that's it for the false case. Yeah, so we're setting the world rotation. Getting the character movement. If we're not moving, do that. Okay, cool. So now let's go to let's do the true case. So again, we know that ultimately we're going to be taking the camera actor and we're going to be setting the world location. So we can go ahead and plug that in. Now we know we're going to be doing a vinterp 2 again. Kind of working this backwards, you know, because when you start with what you know you're going to need, sometimes it helps to figure out how to get there. So again, we're going to take this because we need to know the camera anchor's current world location, and that's going to be our start. And again, speed interp is going to be 1. I'm going to make myself some room here. And then let's see. Oh, before I forget, let me go ahead and reset that. Sorry. 1 second. What am I doing? Oh, right. Get the actor location. So at this point, remember I said we want the camera anchor to basically move in front of the actor, like whichever way the boy is moving, we want the camera to be in front of him, right? Which is kind of tricky because it feels like you're almost trying to predict which way the kid's gonna go, but it's not really predicting. It's just very quickly catching up. So we can do the get actor forward vector. So that'll give us the vector for the direction that the boy is facing. We will then multiply that. And here I'm actually gonna create a variable that we can play with, and I'm gonna call it target offset. And so that variable, if we compile it, oh, nope, not a Boolean, float. Compile, I'm going to set it to 300 initially, and then I'm going to take it, and that's what we're going to multiply by, right? So we're getting the actor's forward vector, so which way it's facing, and then we're multiplying it by an offset, so like basically take that direction and go even farther. And we're going farther by the multiplication of that target offset. So then we'll take the location. We're going to add, boom. So we got that. And this is going to get plugged into the target, right? So basically we're saying, okay, where's the anchor at now? And then we want to move that anchor to the location that we're calculating here, which is the actor location plus the forward vector. And again, here we're going to get delta seconds. There we go. We're going to plug it in there. All right. I think that's it. That feels easy. Does that feel easy to you guys? It feels too easy. I don't like it. Okay, so let's try it. All right, so we're here. Ooh, wait. Yeah, that's not right. Oh, no, it is right. You know why? Because I think it's working correctly. It's the fact that our guy never changes direction. So when we're moving, he's always facing away from us, right? And so when we start moving, that distance starts to get multiplied forward because he's still facing forward. So let's fix that real quick. trying to remember. It has something to do with I have to do this for every it's like for every character you create. Where the heck is it? It's like inherit controller something. Where the crap is it? All right, hang on. Do. Boom. Let's go here. I think it's something to do with controller. Ah, here we go. Use controller. Yeah. Use controller desired rotation. I think that's what it is. We go here. Nope. That's not it. 1 second. Looking at a reference. Woohoo. That's a problem. Still not turning. Why aren't you turning, sir? What am I forgetting? Checking out the character movement real quick. Character movement rotation settings. There's another one. There's one called orient rotation to movement. I think that's the one. So forward. There we go. Sweet. Whew. Wow. That's feels kind of fast. So real quick, let's let's do. So first of all, let's fix the fact that we are flat with the ground. So, like I said, that anchor, right, is always setting to 0, 0, 0. But we can take the camera boom and we can do did I already oh, that's right. So let's reset that and let's actually give the rotation to the boom, so that way the anchor stays in the right place. Wow, that speed is really quick. Let's try to slow that down a little bit. Let's see if that helps. Let's promote this to a variable real quick. Promote to variable. This is going to be the camera anchor interp speed. And if we compile it, we can set a default. So I had it set to 1. Let's go to like 0.5 and see what happens. We're going to do the same thing here. Plug that in. See if that makes a difference. Oh, it's much better. It's still a little fast, but it's nice to see when we stop. You can see it comes back to center over the character. I still feel like it's a little fast. Let's go to maybe 0.3. Let's see if that helps. But also, we want it to actually be fast enough to stay ahead of the character. Yeah, there we go. That feels... Oh, you better. We can play with the settings later. The core of what I wanted to achieve there is done, right? We've got the camera moving out in front of us. So when we go forward, we can see farther into the distance. When we come back, we can see farther back. We've got that. We've got that. Side to side works. Okay, now, you know what I could probably do? Instead of... Because the camera uses the actor... Or the update camera function uses the actor forward vector. I bet I could somehow use like the pure input, because if you notice, part of what's so jarring about this is that when he turns, right, it's not an immediate like jump from, let me do it this way, it's not an immediate jump from this direction to this direction. There is a turn to it, right? So when he spins, like right there, the camera is going that way, like north on the map, and then it's coming back to the side. If I kind of tap it, you can see how the camera is kind of like wee, but in reality I'm just going left, right, left, right. So I'm not gonna fix that now, but I want to leave a comment here to do use input for vector calculations, not forward vector. And I'm going to change this to, I like to kind of color code my comments. It's just something that I do for my own personal self. For me, orange is to do. So it's not like, hey, this is a bug. But it is very much like, hey, this is a thing I want to change. Let's do this differently. Okay, so we've got that. Let's see, what else do I want to do? So this guy, so this is called What Ravens Like, right? And part of the what's gonna make this kind of cute and heartwarming is the relationship that this boy is going to have with his raven friend. So what I'd like to do is I'm gonna basically have the raven like follow him all over the place. So really we need to have a so kind of like how we did with the camera anchor, we need to also have a raven anchor, right? But I think the raven anchor we can actually attach to the mesh here. So I'm going to, I don't know why I said it like that. I'm going to attach a scene component to the mesh component, and we'll call this a raven anchor. That's enough of that. Okay, so we've got the raven anchor. And because it's a scene component and I can't really see what's going on, I'm just gonna add a billboard to it so that I can see it. Cool. So let's take this raven anchor and let's move it. Oh, nope, not that way. Which way do I want to go with this? Actually, I'm trying to think. If we are like this. Oh, that was one thing that we didn't do. Hold on. Hold everything. Hold the phone. So we got the camera like this, right? But we wanted that kind of isometric view as well. So just so I don't get the angles all screwed up, let's take that there. Let's go 40 here, and then we'll go 40 up as well. Let's see what that does. Awesome. Okay. So we'll have to... That's actually great. I love that. Again, way too fast for the camera movement, but I do like what it's doing. I don't know why the camera's doing that. It shouldn't be hitting anything. Oh boy. The controls are all wonky. You know what? We're gonna hold on that. let's go back there for now. We'll just stay right behind the character for now, okay? Because I don't feel like dealing with that nonsense right now. Okay. What the heck were we even doing? Right, the Raven. So we've got the follow point for the Raven. We're gonna move the anchor around a little bit. Let's slide it back, maybe, I don't know, maybe like 120. Oh shoot, I went the wrong way. Negative 120. How high are we thinking? Maybe 260, maybe? Almost. 260, and then, I don't know, negative 50, right? So, if we go about where the camera is, right, we'll be looking at the kid like this, and we'll see the Raven hanging out right there over his shoulder, hopefully. Okay, so trying to think if there's anything, if I want to move on to the Raven, or if I want to keep going with the dude. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do some animations with this guy. Let's at least get him walking, or running rather. Okay, so what we will do is I'm going to browse to this character, and if we right click, go to create, we can go to anim blueprint. It's odd that it decided to make it there, but that's fine. So we'll call him anim bp underscore boy. All right, let's move this into our folder. We're gonna move it here inside the player folder. We'll open it up. Okay, so here is our little guy. He's not doing much right now, but that's okay. We're going to add a new state machine. Now, okay. Wait, where's the... Oh, I thought it was a new state machine. Okay. So I should really explain like what's going on here. So what an anim blueprint does, an animation blueprint, essentially it can take information about what's happening in the game, what your character is doing, and it can translate that into animation logic. So basically, easy example, right? If your character is moving, he should be playing the run animation, something like that. So that's what we're gonna do. So I like to locomotion, yeah. I like to have kind of just a general locomotion state machine where we're gonna take the third person idle animation. We're just gonna call it idle. And so basically, coming off of this entry point, coming off of the entry point, you basically want to put like the default animation, if you will, right? And so if we click on, that's not what I wanted to do. If we click on idle, right, this is what the guy is going to do. And so quick example, right? So we've got our entry point. If we go back to the graph and I were to just plug this in, right, and I hit compile. Okay, there we go. That compile button didn't want to work. So now you can see our kid is just kind of chilling. He's just hanging out. But it's not looping. Why isn't it looping? Oh yeah, this is something that I've noticed lately. Animations don't seem to want to loop by default anymore, which I'm not sure if that's for better or worse, but whatever. It's fine for us. So we've got the idle, and then conveniently enough, we've got a third person idle walk run. I don't know if I want to use this or not. Let's see. If we take the control point. Okay. He can run. Cool. Do we want this though? I feel like there was another. Hang on. Blueprint. Nope. Where's the animation stuff? Character. That one. Can I not use that? I can't use that one. Because why? Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter right now. Because a lot of this stuff is subject to change anyway. This is just getting something that we can work with. All right, so now the way that this works is, other than the entry, when you want to transition from one animation to another, you have to basically set up a condition. And whenever that condition is true, whichever way that arrow is flowing, we can go from idle to the idle run. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to change the name of it. Idle run blend. Okay. But to do that, to figure this out, we are going to need some information. So we're going to go to the event graph, where we can use, I'm not going to use those, so I can get rid of them. I like to use the event initialize, initialize animation. Get owning actor. So basically this event is going to fire when this animation blueprint as a whole gets initialized. And so we're going to get the owning actor. We're just going to cast it to boy. Yep, there we go, boy. And we're going to promote this to a variable so that we always have access to him. And then we're also going to use his movement component a lot. So what I like to do is just go ahead and get the movement component. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Get, no, that's not it. What am I looking for? What is the name of this thing? movement. I thought it was just a variable. Ah, yes it is. Okay. Get character movement. And so we are going to promote that to a variable as well. And yep, character movement is fine with me. So then basically, so we've got our setup, right? We have access to our boy, and we have access to our boy, and we got access to our movement character. And so then basically this is almost like a tick function, more or less. So we want to basically set some data every time the animation blueprint updates, or calls for the update rather. So we want to get the boy, but we want this to be a validated get, because basically we don't want to try to do things or get data from the boy if it's not a valid reference. So then if it is valid, we're going to do a sequence, because we're going to do a few things here, and sequences just kind of keep it all neat. We're going to get the character movement, and from that we're going to get the velocity. Yep, get velocity. We're going to promote that to a variable called velocity. So that's going to be the first thing we do. And then we're going to take that, and we're going to get the length of XY. And what that's going to do, that's going to actually give us our ground speed. And that is what I'm going to call that, the ground speed. Because it's basically getting our speed on the XY plane. We're not worried about Z. So we'll do that. And then on the second one, we're going to get the movement component again. This time we're going to get the I'm trying to think which order I want to. Yeah, let's do. Okay, let's do that. We'll do is falling. So this basically tells you whether or not the character is in the air. And then we're just going to promote it to a variable, and we'll just call it is falling. All right. So then we've got that, and then we're going to add one more pin. So I'd like to get one more piece of data from this. And I'm sorry, I'm going to straighten this because it really bugs me when they're not straight. We are going to take the character movement component one more time. We're going to get current acceleration. We're going to how do I want to do this? We're going to make sure that it's not equal to 0. So basically we're going to make sure that there is some acceleration, right? And then we're going to take the ground speed. We're going to make sure that the ground speed is greater than, I don't know, maybe like 3, something really low. And Boolean. So if these two conditions are true, well, whether they're true or not, we're just setting. We're going to do that. We're going to call it should move. So basically, if we are accelerating in any direction and our ground speed is greater than, say, 3, our character should move. Now we can go back to the locomotion, And what we're going to do is, so remember that condition, can enter transition. So if should move, we're going to start, playing the idle and run run blend. Now we also want to be able to get back to idle, right? So we can put another branch going this way. And basically we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to use a not Boolean to essentially cancel it out. Excuse me again. Now, if we, let's see, let's take, I'm thinking, sorry. Actually, that might be fine for now, just to get our guy moving. Let's check it out and see. So he should at least idle. Oh nope, he's not gonna idle. As soon as I said it, I remembered that we didn't choose an anim blueprint. So anim BP boy, and there you go. So see, even already in the blueprint viewport, he is hanging out in idle. All right, so we got that. Oh, why is he not running? He's not running. Okay, so that means that we are possibly getting one of our conditions wrong. Did I actually hook everything up? Let's check that. Yep, locomotion is going into the output pose. We're going into idle. If it's true, you know what? I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to print this. I'm just going to print the value of that just to see what it is, because I have a feeling that it's always false. Oh, no, it's true. So it should be, okay, I know what it is. In the, in order to drive a blend space, you have to hook up something to it. And that should have been ground speed. So basically, because I wasn't hooking anything up to it, if I break this link real quick, see, it's always 0, right? And so if we go into this blend space real quick, and if I drag this all the way over to, see, it has 0 right there, he's not moving. So no matter how my character moved physically in the scene, the animation was never going to play. But hook up ground speed. We'll get that there. Yep. All right, so we got false, we got true, and look at that. We got a runner. We got a runner. Oh, and a jumper. And he is still just doing his thing. That camera is wonky. We're going to have to fix that for sure, because that will not do. But yeah, so what is happening? Oh, I know. Okay, yep. I think actually, as a matter of fact, I think I know what's happening. I believe that the mesh of this guy might be, well, no, because the mesh should not be affecting it. Ooh, I just remembered probably a big part of why the camera is real fast. Um, uh, where is it? 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 Okay, for one, we don't want to inherit any of that stuff. I think that was, I don't know if you guys noticed, but every once in a while we would get, like, the camera would get a little off center. Um, I think that was the yeah, okay. It seems to be, okay, that's still an issue, but it seems to be staying lined up with the character much better. Um, but there's also, we can enable camera lag and rotation lag. I probably want to bring that down to 3. And then, you know what? With the camera lag, let's see. Oh gosh, guys, this is so much smoother. Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I wonder if I can even bring my interp speed back up to 1 now. Let's see what happens. I still might need to take it down. That's pretty smooth, guys. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's... Okay, so one thing that I noticed is that when he runs far to the side, I don't know if I like this or not, but when I stop, the camera keeps going momentarily. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm wondering if it is better to have this down lower. Let's see if that makes a difference. I don't know. It keeps going and it's like struggling to catch up anyway. So we'll put it back at 1. And honestly, it's not too big of a deal to me. It's not jarring or anything. It's just, I don't know. I'll probably fix it later. I don't have to figure that out right now. Before I forget though, let me remove that print because we don't need that. Cool. Yeah, guys, so we are hey, this was truly an hour. We're at like 58 minutes now. So I think I'm gonna call it here for tonight. But hey, I appreciate you guys watching as always. I'm super excited about this new project. I think it's gonna be really great for just kind of the cute, casual, cozy audience that likes kind of that low poly, lo-fi wilderness kind of vibe. So yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Yeah, catch you next time. See ya.